Hello, hello, welcome back to my channel. It's me, SB. I'm so glad that you are back. So I bet you're wondering what we're doing today. Well, today I have a little experiment that I am working on, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. I'm actually trying to make a crochet makeup bag, and what I bet you're wondering what this is. What I have here is actually the paper pattern for my lining fabric, and originally what I wanted to do was do like a tapestry crochet design on this with this nylon crochet thread or cording or whatever you want to call it. But for some reason I could not for the life of me get it to work. It's just too slippery and I could not get the stitches to look right, and it was just coming out, ugly. So what I decided to do was to do like an embroidery, just make the base of it, and then go through and make my design. So here's my paper pattern, as you can see here, and this is kind of hopefully how it's going to come out. It's going to be like this, and this was just a flap that I was thinking about doing, but really what I want to do, okay, so this is what I want to do here. These are the measurements for my paper patterns, how big I want it to be. I also hopefully want to add a zipper. I want to line it, so I want to make it in nylon and cotton. Obviously I'm using nylon. I definitely want to have a pocket on the inside. I want to have a little wrist strap, either made out of cotton or fabric or faux leather or something. And I've already done all my testing. I actually went through the whole thing, found out that I don't know how to measure or count because I went through it like 3 times. So after all that, I created a actual like tapestry pattern, which I'll show you real quick. So here are my initial patterns here that I came up with. Here's one. Here's the one that I did by hand. There's that one. And then here's the one for the side panels. Anyways, I decided that it was going to be too hard to do the tapestry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this design right here because I like it better than this, and I am going to just cross stitch it. Basically I'm just going to go through over the top and do it like a cross stitch pattern. Oh, I always forget, just in case you're curious, I am using an E or a 3.5 millimeter hook, and this is a nylon number 9 from La España, I believe. I will leave a link to this yarn and where I got it in the description box below, so that way if you want to check it out, there are a ton of different colors of this yarn. They even have different weights of it, so if you don't like this weight, they have bigger ones, I believe. Yeah, so I'm going to finish up my bag here, and I might cut in and tell you how I go about this because I want to make the bottom of the bag right here seamless. I don't want to have to like seam this together. I just kind of want to, and then if that makes any sense. Anyways, I will be back whenever I do that. Alright, so I have 30 rows completed, and now what I want to do is create the little flaps that come out. And the flaps are going to be 5 inches wide. So this is 5 inches right here. And all I'm going to do, instead of, chaining and then working back across and then chaining again, because it's going to be a little wonky, I'm actually going to fasten off my work here. So yeah, I'm going to do my slip knot here. I know I'm a little all over the place right now. Slip knot, and I'm just going to attach it right here attach it and do 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then I'm just going to do +1 and I'm going to fasten off. Like that, so that way we have that little ridge right there on the end. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, except on this side we are going to turn and then work across. So that should work out. We should have the little bumpy facing up on our chain here. And we do. And then on this side we'll just work straight across. Because that was my thing. I didn't want to have it like just slightly uneven. And so now we should have it even. So we just got to remember that we placed our little slip knots right here, and we're going to have to work in those stitches as well. So we're also going to chain 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. +1 because we're going to turn and we're going to work into the back of our chain. So across 20. So go ahead and turn that. Alright, this should be the last one of our chains. And now we are going to crochet. Since this is going to be the base of our work, I am actually going to crochet through the back loop. Because technically I mean, you're going to have a right and wrong side, but that's really up to you. Or it's up to me. But if you're doing something similar, you're just going to have to kind of determine which is the right and the wrong side. Sorry if my head is in the way, I'm just trying to find the stitch here. Because it got a little lost, it's right there. So yeah, I'm just going to single crochet through the back loop just to give it that little definition to show that this is the transition from the front to the bottom. And try not to twist the chain. Pretty easy. I don't know if there's somebody else who found a better way of doing this, but in my head this was the easiest, or rather the best way to create a seamless base without having it being wonky. And there we go. Now look at that lovely twist. That's the only thing with this yarn, that it loves to just be all twisty. Okay, so now I am gonna measure this. Sometimes this nylon thread gets to me. It like just, bleh. I don't know. Like, I hate having all these threads hanging out, and really just irks me. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to work up my 3 inches right here up to the next point and just fasten off and join back up in the center and work straight up just like that. I hope that makes sense. If you're doing an experiment or you want to do something similar, it's pretty fun. So I'll be back whenever I complete all that. So anyway, so that's how far I've gotten, and you can see how straight these are. They're not like askew or anything like they normally would be if I would have added it, worked it, added that, and then worked it. It would have been off just a little bit. But I'm liking the way that's coming out so far. Hindsight, I probably should have made this part right here maybe like 2 stitches longer. Spoilers, I actually like the way it comes out, so I'm going to skip all of this and move you ahead to where I'm actually like happy with it. So basically all I'm doing here is trying to figure out how I'm going to stiffen the inner side of my makeup bag, because I don't want it to be floppy. I want it to stand up on its own. And I have some plastic canvas here, but I don't think I'm going to use it because it's too hard to work with. Like, I would have to cut several pieces and then put it together. I do wind up getting some pleather fabric that I've had for a little while that I used to do some upholstery with, and I think I'm going to use that because in my thought process was that, you know, makeup gets everywhere and sometimes a cap falls off, things get all over the place, and I was thinking something easy to clean where you can flip it inside out, wipe it off, and be done with it. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to find maybe some cardboard or some cardstock, some really thick cardstock, and maybe add the fabric to that and then sew it on to my crochet fabric. We'll see what happens. You know, I always change my mind, so you never know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was looking at it again, and I decided that I think it's actually going to work better if I do leave a little lip up at the top right here, so that way the zipper will sit right there and this is not sitting right on top like that and the zipper is like getting in the way. So that way now, you know, whenever you fold it up and then we sew it like this, hopefully we are getting that, it has that little lip for the zipper. Oh my god, I think that's gonna work beautifully. And I think I'm liking this width for the bottom. So I'm going to leave it at this width. And I know I had cut out that other prototype one, but here I like that width. And I already made another one. See, it's like it's shrinking. It's weird. Because I had measured it earlier and now it's like, it's shrinking now. Weird. It's definitely weird that it's like, it keeps shrinking. Well, this is being a rather involved project, isn't it? So before I actually truly cut out, I'm actually going to let you know that I fastened off. So here was the end of my 15th row here, and I just cut it and I turned my work and I counted in my 20 stitches from the end, and in the 21st stitch, that's where I'm going to attach my new yarn and start my 38 stitches across and working the other side, my other panel. Of course, on this side, we are going to be working through the front loop for the first initial row, because we want it to have that little ridge the way we put on the other side. So yeah, it's just the way it worked out, you know. So yeah, I'll definitely be back, I promise, with our design and how we're gonna add our pretty little decorations to it. Okay, I finally finished my little base, and this is what I've got. Like I said, it seemed to keep shrinking on me, and that was really strange, but anyways, we've got it done. I weaved in all of my ends. Just a little side note, if you are using nylon thread or yarn, you are going to have to kind of singe the ends, because like I said, they like kind of, you know, like to fray really bad and come unraveled. And yeah, I marked on my yarn whenever I was making the pattern, so I'm okay with that. But it looks like this has gotten shorter. I think whenever I measured it earlier, it was like maybe one row down, and now it's like 4 rows down. So, like I said, it's like it's shrinking. It's so weird. But I think I could probably just go over the top, like single crochet a few rows on the top just to make it go up a little bit. It's so weird that it's like shrinking. I don't understand that logic. And you see the top is like all weird because my chain was too big. Oh well, it is what it is, right? So now I am gonna start my little pattern. What I am gonna do is I am gonna use this other yarn, which is the same brand of yarn, but this one's in the color Fiesta, I think. And it is a very loud. So we're gonna see how it's gonna turn out. Let me see. I am actually gonna use this because I think I have 38 right here. Well, great. Oh, there it is. Alright, so all I'm going to do is I am going to start roughly where my pattern that I made here is. So I'm going to start like right here, one row from the bottom. So I'm just going to cross stitch my pattern. Hopefully I do this correctly. I'm not a cross stitcher, by the way. So I'm just kind of making it up as I go. Another thing that I wanted to do was kind of add some beading to it or something. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas in my head, and sometimes they don't come to fruition. There we go. I think this is gonna look cool. I think it's gonna look a little better than what I was originally intending it to look. yeah, definitely every stitch, like every row, you're just doing X's on. It's really, really easy. So basically I'm just using this fabric like cross-stitching fabric. So yeah, every row here, I'm just going around it and making an X on it. And then just going back into my other stitches for the ones that are close together. So yeah, that's what I got so far. That's pretty good, I think, and that looks really cool. Alright, so all finished. On this last bit, I just put little lines there to indicate that the pattern continues on. And now I am on the back side, as you see here. And I'm just going to lock this into place. Like I said earlier, like way super earlier in the video, that nylon thread does not like to be knotted or stay knotted. I'm pretty sure there are some knots that you can do that will actually stay, but I'm too lazy to figure out which knots those are, so I'm just going to do these knots like that. And I'm going to cut it and leave a little bit out like that. I don't know why I grabbed those big old scissors. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one, and I'm just going to put a knot in it just to kind of hold it into place. If I can thread it, because this one has a really small eyelet. And for some reason, I cannot get it through. There we go. Ugh. Alright. So I'm just going to go underneath that and then pass it under. And just kind of help lock that in place. Once again, cut it and leave a little tail there. And then I'm going to go through and burn these edges and kind of just boop, 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 and have them sit there and let them hang out on the inside, because this is the inside of my bag. So on to the little, I don't know what you call them, mountains. The little chevron shapey things. I don't know if I'm gonna, I might just continue on the way I am, just for the sake of it, just so it'll be more harmonious. And I'm actually going to get a different needle, because that needle is bothering me at how small that hole is. I can't get the freaking yarn through. That one's probably going to be too giant. We'll see. Okay, so I finished my little decoration. As you can see here, I absolutely love the way that it came out. My second go around I actually did a better job. As you can see here, I actually placed my decorations in the correct location. I just had to move it up and then did that. Add the little stitch lines here at the top and the bottom, and there is the back. So now all that's left to do is to add our zipper and then sew up the ends. And the zipper that I chose is this pink one that I've had for a little bit. So that's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to add this. I'm going to create the lining. I decided to use some of my faux leather vinyl type stuff here. And I am actually going to use this white one. And I've already marked where I need to cut it and sew it up. I was going to use this fabric here. It is thinner, but I think I wanted something more, I don't know, prettier on the inside, so we'll go for that. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so I got my zipper sewn on. As you can see, I did not attach my sides, but remember at the beginning when I told you that I made my beginning chain way too loose? Well, now you can really tell because it is off just a little bit. So all I did is I kind of folded this side in just a little bit so that way it wouldn't be too noticeable, and I don't think it is real noticeable. And there is our bag. It is almost complete. So I'm just gonna flip everything inside out. And of course, we could have always used our sewing machine to go over this, and it would look a lot neater after, or you know, during this process here, but I decided just to hand sew it, and I think it looks fine. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my side panels here, trying to get it as close as I can to where I want it, and I'm just going to sew up the sides with the same color thread as my bag. Okay, so I have all of my little thing all set up, or my bag and my zipper. Now I'm just going to make the lining for it. And I opted to go with this vinyl type fabric, and I'm going to put some side panels here, and that way I don't have to finish it. Because this doesn't fray or anything, it'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my thread here. Okay, so I got the lining inserted. Don't do what I did. I did a straight stitch, and yeah, it kind of just ate through the vinyl. So if you're using like vinyl or pleather or something like that, make sure you use a zigzag stitch so that way it doesn't do that. So there it is. I did this, I did the sides like that, and all I did to do that was I flipped it inside out, put this right on top, lined everything up, and then sewed it down. Of course, I wasn't able to get the sides because of the way I did it, but I figured I can go through and just hand tack them down and it would be fine. Luckily, this is just a prototype. So I threaded my needle with my thread here. And yeah, really you should do this before you add your lining so you won't see that too much, but like I said, good thing this is just a prototype, and I mean, I'm gonna be the only one who sees it, so it's not gonna be that big of a deal. And I'm just gonna hand tack this down. Kind of doing something similar, kind of like a zigzag stitch, but not really. Yep. Of course, I'll do all that and that. Alright, and we are done. Here it is. I really like the way it came out. I am gonna make some adjustments to the final product if I do decide to put it in my shop. It will definitely be in there, so go ahead and head to my shop. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to actually crank out a few more of these, and by crank I mean actually using my hands, not literally cranking. But anyways, this is the design that I decided on this side, because this one came out a lot better than on the opposite side. As you can see, you can tell that this was the first one that I did. Also, I will try to figure out how to add a wrist strap to it prior to adding the lining. And the lining, of course, this will not happen because now I know how to attach it correctly and do it nicely. But I really do love the way it came out. It pretty much matches what I wrote in my sketchbook, which I will remind y'all what I put in here. So yeah, here it is. It is pretty dang close. I mean, the color's not the same, but I like the way it came out. It's like pretty close. I didn't add those there, but I did add the bottom ones. And I just need to add the little wrist strap on it, and yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if this inspires you to do something similar. I do kind of give you an idea of how to do it. It's not exactly a tutorial, but you know, if you are savvy with a crochet hook and some yarn, I think you can figure it out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!